Happy Wednesday, team. I'm so excited to be on here for our upLIFT Tribe team call. I know it has been a hot second since we've had a team call all together as the upLIFT Tribe, so I'm so excited to be back on here with you guys today and see all of your smiling faces. So first off, thank you so much for being on the call tonight. It really just means a lot that you took the time to set aside just growing and learning and being here to grow in community together. And so thank you so much for being on. I know a lot of you are like, okay, so Caroline, what's going on with the schedule? Why are we just having a once a month team call now? So basically after Summit, Patrice and I really had just a really great conversation, and after coming out of Summit, seeing how a lot of the coaches just really take a step out of their, upline's wing or shadow and really start to expand their own team. I've done that with Michelle by pursuing the upLIFT Tribe outside of Team Iron, and so basically Patrice decided to take that step in her business, which is so exciting and so awesome, and so she has formed the Radiant Tribe, and they are hosting their own team calls and their own trainings, which is just so cool to see what God's going to do and is doing through them. Obviously, I am so excited for Patrice. She is just growing her business and running and killing it, and God's just doing really amazing stuff through it. She is currently a 5-star qualifying coach, and she only has one more week of qualification left, and we just know that she is going to get there, and so excited for her and her team, and I cannot wait to celebrate them, y'all. We are actually going to the She Works His Way conference in October, and so I'm excited just to celebrate her and hug her neck, and I know you guys are cheering her on as well. We also have another rank advancement happening this Thursday, and that is Leah Coleman is going to hit Emerald ranking. And so, Leah, we are so proud of you. I am just, I said it today on our coffee with Caroline this morning, but if I could deem a word to you, it would be consistent. You are so consistent and committed, and it makes my heart happy because we live in a culture that just doesn't know what it looks like to be consistent and committed. And so I'm just so proud of you. You keep putting goals out there and pushing for them and hitting them. And so I am just extremely proud of you. We've got a few coaches who are on their way to Emerald and Diamond. And so I'm excited just to see what God's going to continue to do over the rest of this year as we push towards being an elite, 5-star elite team as well. And so just so excited and humbled to be a part of this community, and just want you guys to know that from the bottom of my heart. And so I am cheering you guys on every single step of the way, and I hope that you know that I'm always here for you. So tonight we are talking specifically about growing your network and tracking your conversations. And the reason I picked this topic for this month's call is that I really think this is probably one of the biggest barriers for most coaches in their business, and probably one of the biggest holes that they're constantly trying to figure out how to crack the code on. And this is really something that for me for a long time, I just didn't do, to be totally honest. I was so concerned with building my brand and having everything be perfect and shiny and the content amazing. And those things have been great, right? Like they've been the foundation of my business in a lot of ways. But I kind of rode the horse before I got the horse. Does that make sense? I don't even know if that's how the analogy goes, but essentially I kind of skipped over the most important steps first and started doing the things that coaches start worrying about a little later. Because in so many ways, I envisioned that that's what my business looked like. And so while that was good and great, I skipped over some of the core things that you should be focused on, especially your first year in the business. And that is growing your network and tracking your conversations. And I was going straight into the branding and the things that I personally enjoy. And so tonight's call comes from a person who has done it the wrong way and had to correct things, gone back and correct things, which is a whole lot harder to do, by the way, than if you'll just do it the correct way when you start out. And so hopefully tonight's call helps just you set yourself up for success as you pursue this business. No matter if you're a brand new coach or you've been in the business for 2 years, hopefully this will just really open your eyes to some of the things that you can be doing in your business just to grow it and expand it. and then also make sure that you're keeping up with those conversations. So first things first, you guys know that I am a branding guru. I love to talk about branding and social media and how to meet new people and grow your business in that way. And so tonight we're going to talk specifically for a few minutes about Instagram. And then we're going to kind of jump over and talk a little bit about Facebook for just a second, and how you can use these two platforms, Twitter as well, any of the social media platforms, to truly grow your business. I think a lot of times when we first become a coach, we are super, super focused on how can I reach the people I know? How can I get my friends and my family involved? And that is really important. I want you to hear that. It is so important. But you've got to start thinking about how are you growing your network as well? Because what's going to happen is, and what I've seen with so many coaches over and over again, is they hit Success Club 14, they hit Success Club 20. All of a sudden, they're almost a success starter. And then that third month is when things get hard. There's a reason that Beachbody makes you hit it 3 months in a row. Because for 2 months, you can sustain reaching out to friends and family and getting those people plugged into a challenge group. But after that first 2 or 3 months, that's when you run out of these people, and then all of a sudden you have nobody over here. And so what you want to happen is that your cold market is constantly being pushed into your warm market. Your warm market's over here, and you're having these conversations, and you're getting people plugged in, but you're constantly just consistent with growing your market. And that is what a really good coach does. Is it's not that they necessarily have this secret answer, or that they have this awesome way of marketing to people, or making these seller connections. It really is just that they're really good at being consistent. This looks kind of weird. It looks like I'm spanking someone, but you guys get the point. They're really good at getting people into that warm market bubble. And so how do we do that? Well, number one, it's obviously using social handles where you can build a brand. This is a really, really amazing and easy way for us to do that, as moms, as wives, as busy professionals, as women who volunteer and do all kinds of things in our churches. We don't have a ton of time. And so just the opportunity that we have to constantly be building that cold market through social media is a huge opportunity that we have to leverage if we want to be successful at this business. So tonight, I want to, like I said, talk first off about Instagram. And most of you guys know that Instagram is just my BFF in social media. I started my business there. I'm still doing my business on social media, or on Instagram specifically. I love Instagram, and I love it because I am somewhat of a creative person, and that visual, that eye-catching photos is something that I love about Instagram. I love following people who just have beautiful feeds and thinking about what my business might look like if I had this beautiful feed. And so I love that visual aspect of Instagram. And while I love that visual aspect, sometimes I also hate it, because we all know how frustrated we get when we can't take good photos, or we, all of our photos are selfies or whatever. And so you've really got to master and think and learn about how can you take better photos. One coach that I follow, I was listening to one of her trainings the other day, and she said that she's constantly watching YouTube videos on how to take better pictures. She's constantly buying little lighting stuff for her phone to take better pictures. She bought another camera, and she took a course on how to use it to take better pictures. And so this is part of our business, guys. This is part of our brand. And if you're going to use Instagram as a platform for meeting new people and growing that warm market, then you've got to get good at taking photos. You've got to get good at writing good captions. You've got to get good at creating engagement, because it's when you start to do that on your Instagram feed and on your stories that you can start to have those one-off conversations with people, which we'll talk about in a second. And so it's really important that not only are you creating a visual handle that is something someone wants to engage with, because guess what? The first thing they see is the photo, right? But you've also got to have captions that are engaging as well. And so your focus should not be followers, okay? I need you to hear that. I think a lot of people get caught up when they become a coach on my team, and they think, well, Caroline has 17.7 thousand followers, and that is why she is successful in this business. That is not the case, okay? I need you to hear that. That is not the case. In fact, most of the time, that works against me. There are obviously plenty of benefits to it because I can reach more people, but at the same time, it's very easy to think that, oh, I'll just put this up and then I'll get Success Club 20 this month whenever you have tons of followers, because you do get a lot of engagement. But it's less about the number of followers and it's more about the engagement that you have with those followers. So I would much rather you have 100 likes on a photo than 17.7 thousand followers. Does that make sense? So focusing on creating an engaging profile that has your target consumer following your account rather than this high number. For me, I could probably have double or triple the amount of followers that I have now, but I have blocked so many people. Like, I have blocked so many people, guys, because I want the people following me to be the people I want to work with. I don't work with men, and so guess what? I've blocked a ton of men from following my account. I want to work with women, and so for me, my account could be bigger, my following could be bigger, but the engagement would be lower, right? Because I want to have a platform that gets my people excited about what I'm putting out. Does that make sense? So I want to think every single time that I post, who are you most excited to talk to? And so I want you to think about that when you post. Who are you most excited to talk to, and put content out that is going to reach that person. This business gets so much more fun, a whole lot more fun when you're talking to the people that you want to work with. Like the people that you actually kind of like, not just people who, are like, just not your people, you know what I'm saying? Like people who are just coming to you for answers. You're actually getting to work with people that you like working with. So I want you to take 2 minutes right now and I want you to think about what makes you you. Now, a lot of you guys are like, okay, Caroline, I've done your branding video before. I've done the color wheel before, but I want you to think for a second about what makes you you. And I want you to write that down. So I'm going to give you guys about a minute to just write that down about what makes you you. Sorry, guys, I keep having a nose itch here. All right, so here's the things that make me me, and I wrote these down. And this is kind of my avatar as well. Love Jesus and makes him her number one priority. Wife, and I've been married for 4 to 10 years. New mom, values her family, church, and friends. Hard worker, loves fashion and decorating. Loves Joanna Gaines and her style. Totally me. Let's see here. Willing to put in the hustle. Has big goals and a big why that she is willing to put in the work to reach. And is in her late 20s and early 30s. And so that's my avatar. That's the person that when I think about who I want to work with, that's who I want to work with. I want to work with a person who is wanting to make this their full-time job, who really wants to work hard at it. Am I saying that I don't want to work with all the other people? Not at all. I want to work with all those other people too. But these are the people that, like, if I'm just talking about like my dream client or coach, that's who it is. And so I need to make sure the content I am putting out there is speaking to that person. So I want you to find those people. All right. So now I know you're thinking, okay, how am I going to find those people, Caroline? I want you to sit down now again, like you stood back up. I want you to write down what are the brands that those people are following? What other accounts do they follow? What hashtags are they using? And what locations are they going to? So I want you to take just a second and write those down. What accounts are they following? What hashtags are they using? What locations are they going to? And what brands specifically are they following? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to go to their profile and I want you to, so go to their profile as in the brand that you listed or the account that you listed. For instance, I'll use an example. A lot of the women on my avatar, a lot of those women would probably follow Risen Motherhood on Instagram. And so I'm going to go to Risen Motherhood's Instagram, and I'm literally going to go to followers or people who've liked their photos, and I'm going to go through the women, and I'm going to try to follow 20 to 30 a day. Now, I know that sounds like a lot, but it's not. And this is a really good way for your profile to get in front of people. Some people don't like this, but I'm a huge fan of it because here's the deal. A lot of times, it's not that people won't like your content. It's not that people won't want to engage with it. It's just that they don't know about you. And so you've got to get them to know about you. And so going to their profile, following them, liking some of their pictures, allowing them to follow you back, this is what's going to get that relationship going. So a few things that I do want to mention too before we dive into how do you actually build a conversation with them and a connection with them. I'm sorry guys, I'm like having this major nose itch tonight. So really quickly on your Instagram, you want to make sure that your Instagram picture is a picture of you. So you want to make sure that that picture is consistent between all your platforms. That way that people know, okay, that's Carolyn Foster, that's Carolyn Foster, that's Carolyn Foster, that's Fit for His Glory, that's Fit for His Glory, that's Fit for His Glory. Try saying that 3 times fast. But you want to make sure that there's a consistency so that they know, oh, I've got the right person. The next thing is that you want to make sure that you've got a really great bio that is very clear about who you are and what you do. So, example, my bio currently says, because I do change it quite often, health coach, wife and mommy, helping women get healthy for the, I used to say fit and healthy, helping women get healthy for the glory of God. Use hashtag getting fit for His glory so I can cheer you on. So I'm trying to get that hashtag going. And so I put that up there, and then just my links, and it takes them to my link tree. Super easy, super simple. But this is really important because what you want to happen is you want for people to see that bio and to read it and to know exactly what they're going to get from your Instagram feed. And so make sure that it's very clear that they know exactly who you are and what they're getting. So for me, they know that I'm not just this girl who talks about fitness. I'm actually a fitness coach, and I'm a wife, and I'm a mom, and I help women get fit and healthy. And you can use this hashtag even if you're not a part of my challenge groups, and I'll cheer you on. So these are just different ways that they can get a really good idea of what they're going to get when they scroll through my feed. Does that make sense? So this is just a good way for you to make sure that what you're putting out there is what people are getting. You also want to make sure that you have a clear way, they have a clear way to get a hold of you. So make sure that in your bio, you've got something that's going to make it super clear how they can reach you and get a hold of you if they'd like. So whether it's your email or your website or your link tree, these are all easy ways for them to kind of get that information. I do think it's important to just mention too that it's really important that if you're going to grow your network and you're going to start to expand and grow your followers, that you really make sure that you're continuing to grow as a leader and continue to grow in your understanding of how you can use Instagram in your business. And so, for instance, I recently became a member of this thing called Social Curator. It's by this girl named Jasmine Starr. And I recently became a member because I want to stay up to date on all the things happening in digital marketing, specifically with Facebook and Instagram. And so find people like that you can really start to learn from, that you can listen to their trainings. This is going to be a really important part of making sure that, you're staying on top of the trends and the things that are happening. You'll find out the first month how to use Instagram stories in your business, or whatever. Say next month that IGTV comes out, and then she does a training on IGTV and how you can use it in your business. So it's very real time, her trainings are, but definitely find those people in your life that you can learn from. And then just remember to pretend that you're talking to your BFF. So whether this is through messaging back and forth with a potential customer, or whether this is, in your actual content on your Instagram, it's less about the followers and more about the engagement. And then just make sure that you are really staying on top of commenting back as soon as people comment, liking their comments, that kind of thing, because that is just going to help more and more engagement. So the more comments a photo has on it, the more engagement it's going to get. And so the higher the likes are going to go up, and the higher the algorithm is going to put you on the newsfeed. And so that's really important to know. So let's jump into, you've expanded your network, you're getting all these people to start following you. But then what's the next step? So the next step is that you want to reach out to those people. And so my goal that I have set for myself is I'm trying to reach out to 40 people 4 times a week. So that's 160 people over 1 week period. And then Fridays is for follow-up. It's just 1 day on follow-up. And the reason I decided to do 4 days is I really need to give myself a grace day. So I need a day to, if I miss it or something happens or I'm not able to, kind of give myself a little bit of grace. And so what I personally do is I go through my Instagram stories, and the people who watched my last videos first are the first people I message. So for instance, my last video that I posted tonight was of Emmeline, of her just tasting some chickens. But it was actually of her and Brian eating an orange together in her little belly, like the cutest thing ever. So what I would do is go all the way, and this is really bright so you guys can't see my screen. So I would go all the way down to the very bottom, and I would start messaging these people first. So some of these people may already be a friend, some of them may not, but that is where I would personally start. So with my 40 people. So what I do is I have something written in the notes section on my phone, and I just copy and paste it, and it says, "Hey blank." So, "Hey Caroline, thank you so much for watching my Insta stories and supporting my little business. It means so much. Have you ever thought about jumping in one of my boot camps?" And so this is what I have been sending to women who are watching my Instagram stories, and I am sending 40 of these a day. It's super simple, and yes, a lot of people don't message me back, but a lot of people do, and it's a really great way to get conversations going. So far, I've already got a ton more challenge packs sold, and they're all from just these one-on-one conversations. And so I think that's really important just to kind of note. So this has been a really great way for me. So what I personally do is I go through and message 40 people every day, or 4 days a week, excuse me. And then on Fridays, I follow up with them. So what I do is I message people from my phone. So I literally just copy and paste this, and I go into my Insta stories. So I'm literally going to do it right now. And I go through and I message these women. So I'm messaging a girl named Annie right now. And so what I will do is I'll send all 40 of my messages. And once I finish, so I'll kind of just keep track in my head a little bit of like, okay, who all did I message? Or, how many did I message? So, I already messaged this girl. So then it's nice because you can kind of see who you've already messaged. And then if you want to go ahead and send a follow-up, you can. But what I do is I send all 40 of them on my phone. And then what I like to do is just sit down and go through my Instagram and plug them into my tracker. It's just easier for me than trying to do it at the same time as sending the messages, because otherwise I feel like it takes double the time. So basically I just have this Google tracker where I keep up with everyone. It's called my invite tracker. So I have one for coaches and one for challengers. And it's just basically has these columns: date, the follow-up, so that way I can put the day I follow up with them, their name, their Instagram handle, their email, and then notes about them, and then their Facebook link. So the same thing goes on Facebook as well, guys. So I use Facebook, with messaging people as well. And that's another great way that you can just use those people in your postings as well. So you can message them from Facebook and then track those invitations as well. So after I send all of these messages, then I will go back to my tracker and plug in everyone's information. And then on Fridays, I go through and send follow-ups to every single person that I did not hear back from. And so this is just what's been working for me now. I know some people use pen and paper, but I think it's really important, guys, that you're tracking the conversations. I did not do this in the beginning of my business, and I really wish I would have, because I think it would have made a massive difference in the amount of people I could have been reaching and just getting people converted over to coaches. So definitely make sure that you are tracking your conversations, that you are making sure that your brand is working like this and that you're reaching those people. Obviously, if you want people to follow you, you got to have good content. So all of this all goes hand in hand, but this is how you're going to find the new people to then be messaging. So I hope this encourages you guys today, and hopefully got some good information on how you can continue to A, grow your network, and B, track your conversations. You got to be tracking your conversations. If 40 people is too many for you, bring it down to 10, bring it down to 5, even if that's where you need to start. I'm just trying to really grow my business right now, and so 40 is kind of what I'm pushing myself for. So I think that's everything. If you have any questions after we hang up on this call, please just drop them below. I would love to answer them for you guys. And I hope that you have an amazing night. Thank you so much for being on.